The Wright Stuff. Shane. All right. Seattle, we have who most everyone projected would go number one. We got Shane Wright at number 4. My name is Erica Lindsay Ayala. I am your host of Locked on Kraken. I was telling you in the past few days, I felt like we were going deep into silly season. I was the movie Draft Day kept popping up on my Fubo account. I know I'm not the only one that still has Fubo because of the Seattle Kraken. Wow. Shane Wright falls to number 4, which of course is exactly how Ronnie Francis mapped it out. My goodness. What a time. What a time. The Montreal Canadiens, they select Yurov Slavkovsky at number 1. I have been talking about this guy. I like this guy. I'm not mad that guy went number 1. But by him going 1, that really changed the complexity of the draft because now you have teams, you have Arizona picked before us. You have New Jersey picked before us. Jersey took the guy I thought we were going to take at 4. They take Simon Nemec. But these are teams that are plugging and playing or wanting to plug and play in certain positions. I think the Coyotes and the Kraken at 3 and 4 we're in an interesting situation where we kind of need everything. So, what are you going to essentially value? What is the value that you're putting on the players that are left? So, I mentioned it, the Montreal Canadiens, first overall pick, they pick the Slovakian forward Yurev Slavkovsky. Simon Nemec goes number 2 to New Jersey. So you have 2 Slovak players back to back, 1 and 2. Then it's Logan Cooley. Logan Cooley at 3. That's what we expected. Which then left Shane Wright at number 4. Now, if you listen to Mike Benton and his coverage, if you look at what Allison Lucan has been posting on Twitter, you see that yes, Shane Wright was asked about it, and he said there is a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. I saw something on Twitter where maybe after he took his picture with Gary Bettman, maybe he gave a little bit of a grill. Was he mean mugging the tables that didn't pick him? You know what? I'm okay. How many times on Locked on Kraken have I said, I want to see this team play with fire and desire? I need to see it. And if this is what it takes, oh, you don't want to go 4? You think it's bad to go 4 in a draft? Either way, you're going to a team with a losing record. Hello. What are we talking about? And you mean to tell me you rather go to Arizona respectfully than to come to Seattle? I'm just saying is all. Either way, like I said one time on one of our little squad casts, I think it was actually with Laura. It must have been for the lottery. Listen, I want to thank me. I'm not worried about what the other teams are doing. You don't want to take Shane Wright? We'll take him. We'll take him. In, out, quick. Ronnie Francis named the pick and kept it moving. I love that. Oh my gosh. Because on a totally not related to Shane Wright note, at all. I'm so exhausted by Gary Bettman's little spiel that he does with the crowd. Yeah, you're going to get booed, guy. You're going to get booed. Let it go. Handle your business. Your business as a commissioner, you're not in the business of, cutting down haters at a draft. Your job is to keep the show going. How much time do we waste every time Gary Bettman wants to go, fisticuffs verbally with the crowd? They're going to boo you. Let it go. Keep it moving. It's not about you, bro. Anyway, I have so many feelings about that. But we get Shane Wright. Let's get to know Shane Wright a little bit. What do we know about this guy? I'm going to be honest. I don't know a lot. I don't know a lot about Shane Wright because I didn't focus on the guy. I didn't focus on him. I know that he's been in the OHL, captain of his team, playing in Kingston. There's a lot of hockey history in Kingston. 94 points, 32 of those are goals, 62 assists. I like that. I like that. In Kingston, like I mentioned in the OHL, ranked second overall on his team in assist points and game-winning goals. He's tied at 5. I like that. 14 points in 5 games for Canada at the 2021 U18 World Junior Championships, where he took home a gold medal, was named one of the top 3 players on his team. So, this guy's got international experience. He has OHL experience and really petitioned to be eligible to play in the OHL. So this is a hungry guy, 6 foot, right? He's just shy of 190 pounds, I believe. So I mean, listen, I've been saying that I want size, right? I've been saying it for a while. I want size. Shane Wright definitely gives you some size. I like that he, I don't think it was a demerit for him to say he wants to go number 1. Everyone wants to go number 1. Come on. Shane Wright. I love this graphic. Shout out to the Locked On team that did this graphic. I love it. Just wanted to show it in case you didn't see it. Come on. Everyone wants to go number 1. We're going to hold it against this young buck saying that he's confident that he can go 1. Nah. Nah, 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 nah. No, don't do that. Don't do that to the kid. Don't do that to the kid. I'm okay if he's a little bit confident. I call it confident, not cocky. I'm here for it. I think we need a little bit of moxie. I talk about it all the time. Yeah, 191. Okay. I couldn't remember if he was at or above or below. But he's at 191. I thought so. So decent size. I like it. A centerman, a lot of people talking about what this means for the Seattle Kraken as far as, now we have Matty Beniers, young guy Matty Beniers. We've got a young guy, Shane Wright, back to back. We had a true number 2 pick, a natural, as I like to say, number 2 pick last year. And for all intents and purposes, you get a guy that is at a number 1 caliber at 4 in your second ever draft. I think this is a good move. I know some people are still going to be a little bit hesitant or leery, and maybe the guy's a little too cocky, too confident, 18 years old. There are a lot worse things that 18-year-olds who get drafted into the NHL have done than be a little bit cocky in an interview. And by that, I do mean assault and abuse and violating people's privacy. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We've seen worse. We've accepted worse. There is worse in the NHL. And good Lord, I hope that's never going to be the case with Shane Wright or anyone else in the Kraken organization. That's a wee bit of an aside, but also, is this going to be a Gary Bettman roast? I'm okay with that. Gary Bettman asked, about what's been happening with the sexual assault cases in hockey and racism, and essentially saying that it's not a hockey problem, it's a societal problem. Okay. We'll talk about that on another time. But right now, let's just be excited about Shane Wright. Let's be excited about the Seattle Kraken. Honestly, unless they were conjuring up things in the background and getting teams to think about other things, I don't necessarily know that we can give Ron Francis like a super big mega gold star for this, right? He always said, I guess he stuck to the plan. What was the plan? Last year we talked about it so much as we were just getting the podcast going. We're going to build up the middle. I don't think it worked out too well building up the middle last season. Certainly not from the back out. But that's what he says. Likes to build from the middle, gets a centerman in last year's draft, gets a centerman in this year's draft. What's the other thing? Ronnie Francis has been telling us since last year, you take the best available at your pick. Best available at 2, Matty Beniers. Best available at 4, Shane Wright. So he's sticking to the game plan. I'm going to say you get credit, I guess, for sticking to the game plan, but I don't know that we've really seen full on mastermind guru yet. We haven't seen that version of Ron Francis and the Seattle Kraken scouting team yet. Not yet. And we're going to have to see it. If we want to be I'm aiming for us to have a winning record. I want us to be 500 or better. And that seems kind of ambitious considering how things went down last season. But I think it's a good thing to strive for. Break even. At least win as many games as you lose. You know, I would like to see it. So what does this team need to break even? Think we still need a big defenseman. A big defenseman good on his skates. You know, I had Linda Kahn on the show, in case you missed it. That episode went up today. I'm also going to put I had to cut out a few things. We talked for maybe about 40 minutes. So I'm going to put the full episode or the full interview up eventually. So you get the raw, unedited, 2 New Yorkers talking hockey. Amazing. But what else do we talk about? Goaltending. And Linda had some things to say. I don't know if you know, she's a former goaltender. She had some things to say about Grubauer. And I think she was right. Need some goaltending. And we talked about this on the show this week, not just to figure out what's going to happen with Gruby now that Drieger is injured and, is healing from an ACL injury, but also you got to build up. Got the Firebirds coming. So there's some decisions still to be made. And that's why I say I want to see how Ronnie Francis and his staff are going to cut their teeth in free agency. I don't think you definitely don't want to see Shane Wright on the move. That's not what I want to see. But I think there's potential as we continue on in the draft. Right now, as I'm speaking, we just got to Nashville. Shout out to Ann Kimmel, friend of the pod. They're making their selection right now. The Nashville Predators at 17. And so we'll see who they pick. Anyway, I think we have a little ways to go to figure out how the Seattle Kraken are really going to be aggressive to try and get to a 500 or better team by next season. I think it's ambitious, but I would like to see them try. I really want to see them push to do that. I don't want us messing around with the draft. We have picks through the next 2 drafts after this one. Let's focus on winning hockey games. That's what I have for you live. On tomorrow's episode, I'm going to break down a little bit more of Shane Wright's game. We're going to talk about the rest of the draft results as they come in, including what we get from the Seattle Kraken, including if we get to hear from Ron Francis after the first day. We're going to cover all of that on Friday's show. And then, of course, we'll have the rest of the draft coverage on Monday. Hold fast. Stay true. Shane is with the Seattle Kraken.